Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. Today, we're going to talk about one of our favorite things. We're going to talk about DROS. We're going to talk about the DROS fee. Today's Friday. I am like a day off. Wow, that is crazy. Well, happy Friday. Even more to celebrate. But today we're going to talk about DROS. Now, you all know what the dealer record with DROS is. It stands for Dealer Record of Sale. It's a fee that we pay when we go to transfer a firearm, when we buy or sell or transfer a firearm. It's it's a fee. It's a fee that's supposed to go to pay for that program. Well, a couple of years ago, the legislature and Governor Brown decided that they were going to pass a law that would allow them to use the DROS fee for other things, up to and including confiscating firearms from people who are on the armed prohibited persons list. In our never to be humble opinion, it took the fee, what was supposed to be a fee. Now, keep in mind, a fee is supposed to be, they perform a service, they do a thing. In this case, it's background checks and whatnot. And for that, you pay a fee. And the fee is supposed to go to cover the cost of the service. Now, if there's extra money in that account, well, then that means you're charging too much for the service, right? Right. But instead, they decided, well, if there's extra money, we'll take that money and we'll use it for other things. Now, if you're using it for other things, there is a word for that. What's it called? I think it's called a tax. That's right. It's actually a tax. So anyway, to make a long story short, basically this year or Tuesday, let me clarify, the governor is going to be releasing his new budget. And in that new budget, our concern, or what we believe is going to wind up happening, is you're going to see the governor once again using the DROS fund as a slush fund. Basically going in and taking the money and using it to address things and to do things that have nothing to do with the transfer or sale of firearms. Because otherwise, that would then make it a tax. In fact, they just passed a whole slew of gun bills. You know what they are, the gun apocalypse bills. A significant number of which are to be programs of which are to be funded out of DROS. And it was interesting, if you go back and you read the analyses of all of those measures, just about every single one mentioned that the DROS fund, as a result of all of these different things pulling on the DROS fund, that it was not going to be sustainable, that there was not going to be enough money in the DROS fund in order to pay for the stuff that they want to do, let alone for the governor to come in and steal more money. So one of the things that we're doing is we're asking people to go to our website and to actually send a message to the governor telling him, don't steal our DROS funds. You go to firearmspolicy.org, you go to our alerts, and it'll be the #1 top alert that will be there that'll let you know exactly, okay, this is what's laid out, this is what we believe the governor might propose, and oh, by the way, make sure you tell the governor, don't steal our DROS funds. Because that's basically what they want to do. Their whole goal, quite frankly, is to lock us up, and now not only do they want to lock us up, but they want to lock us up and pay for it using our own money, law-abiding citizens. Anyway, that's kind of the main topic today. Would love to hear what else you guys have to say, or what other things that are on your mind. So let's go here to the Webernets and see where you guys are at. State steals money all the time to pay for pet projects. They've done this with the gas tax for years. No, exactly. The gas tax was supposed to go to pay for roads. It's supposed to go to pay for the roads, the highways, and whatnot. Instead, they've stolen the money, the gas tax money, year after year, and then they say, oh my God, our roads are terrible, we need more money. Well, if you had spent the money that you took the first time on what it was supposed to be spent on, you wouldn't need it. Same thing here can be said for DROS. Eventually, they're going to come back and they're going to increase the DROS fees, which, oh, by the way, they passed a bill which will allow them to increase those fees. They're going to come back and they're going to increase our fees. Why? Because they can't afford all of the pet projects and all of the programs that they want to implement. They're going to help them take our guns. Anyway, but that's a good observation. Recall Moonbeam. Yeah, he's got 1 year left. I don't know that a recall is, or 2 years left, I'm sorry. I don't know that a recall is necessarily going to be a wise option. But know that there is an election coming up. real soon, we're going to have an opportunity to elect a new governor and a new attorney general. So let's make sure that we're active and we're involved in trying to make sure that a pro civil rights, a pro Second Amendment governor is put in place. California gun owners should not be funding the hiring of AG Holder to fund. Oh, yes, no, I completely agree. I don't understand. This makes absolutely no sense that we would be hiring the U.S. Attorney General, who, by the way, couldn't even manage his own gun running operation. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that? No, I did. Oops. He could manage his own gun trafficking operation successfully. But then again, I don't know why we would be hiring him in order to help us, the state of California, us, the legislature, us, find ways to violate federal law, should they be passed by the new Congress and by the new president. But then again, I think any successful criminal enterprise first seeks legal counsel to know what are the best options for them. But I digress. Civilized Americans must wake up and get busy defending our constitutional rights. Yes, they should. Once again, another recall Moonbeam. They're all crooks. Yes, they are. Because, by the way, note to the legislature and the governor, just because you approve a law doesn't mean it's not stealing. Just because you approve a law saying that you can steal doesn't mean that you're not stealing. By definition, a fee is supposed to go to pay for something that is germane, pay for a service. And quite frankly, we're paying for a lot more than what the service costs. Who is our best option for the new governor? Your guess is as good as mine. So far, nobody on the pro Second Amendment side, on the conservative side, or even the libertarian side, who has announced their intention to run for governor. So it'll be interesting to see. Right now, our choices appear to be between gun-grabbing Gavin Newsom, Antonio Villaraigosa from former mayor of Los Angeles, and Delane Easton, the former Secretary of Education. None of which, as far as I know, are friendly to gun owners. 30 million registered firearms. How does that translate to owner number? I don't know what that question is. All right, break that number down to small groups, whatever liberals try to pass a new law. Now, one of the things I think we need to realize is this. Not all gun owners are pro-gun. And unfortunately, that's just something that we're just going to have to accept. There are many people who purchase firearms, whether it's for hunting or for self-defense, who don't believe in the fundamental right to be able to defend oneself. Or at the very least, they believe that it's okay to significantly infringe upon that right. Or they don't see these measures as infringements, either because they're blind or because they're just not paying attention. But we need to understand that of the entire universe of gun owners, the percentage of people that are actually pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, that believe in the fundamental human right to defend oneself is a much smaller, much more committed, but much smaller subset. No, by the way, not everybody in that group not everybody who believes that is actually a gun owner. For years, I believed in the fundamental right to defend oneself. I believed in the constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Yet I chose not to exercise it myself. I got over that, and I eventually went and bought a firearm, bought another one, took some classes. But that's the thing that we need to understand and be realistic about is just because someone is a gun owner doesn't mean that they believe in the right to keep and bear arms. Yeah, I appreciate the Craig run for governor, but let's just be real. Unless someone out there has $1 million, multi-million-dollar fund or whatever that's going to put money in an account, because folks, let's just be real. In California, what it takes to win is money. Whoever the candidate is that we wind up supporting, we can't just cheer them on Facebook. We can't just cheer them on Twitter. You know, we have to be willing to contribute, to give of our time, to give of our talent, and to give of our treasury, to be willing to support that candidate in order to help them to get elected. I honestly don't believe they need to raise as much money as the opposition, but I think that they have to have a certain amount, a certain level in order to be able to get their message out in the state of California. That's just real. And you know, one can look at how much money was contributed to Proposition 63 and how much money was contributed to Veto Gunmageddon and realize we didn't raise a whole lot. We didn't raise as much as we needed in order to be able to efficiently and effectively fight in those areas. So if that's the case, you know, what are we going to do about a gubernatorial race? And I'm not saying that we can't do it. I'm just saying that we need to be realistic about the fact that if we want someone who believes what we believe, we need to be willing to put our money where our mouth is. Hey, I already got 400 in the pot. Thank you very much. Well, folks, that's it for today. I want to encourage you once again, go to our website, firearmspolicy.org, go to alerts, and tell the governor, don't steal our DROS fees. It's supposed to go to pay for our transfer fees. It's supposed to go to pay for a program. Keep that money in the program. This is Craig DeLuz. This is Coffee with Craig. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.